Coach, you're coming off a busy weekend with a couple of different tournaments in Las Vegas and near Washington, D.C. I guess if you want to start off first with Las Vegas and how you thought that went for your crew.
Well, it was a really good trip out to Las Vegas. I think, overall, I thought our guys wrestled hard and we competed well. Even there was some, results that, probably were not ideal for us. I mean, we took some losses out there that obviously we would like to have had a better result. But at the end of the day, I scheduled that tournament to give our guys the opportunity to see the best guys in the country in the first semester. And I think we were able to do that. And through the losses and even some of the hard-fought wins that we had out in Vegas, I think it showed us, some things that we've got to adjust and, maybe some weaknesses that got exposed. But instead of finding that out in maybe February or March, now we're finding it out in December, and we've got 3 months to, address some of those deficiencies. And that's, ultimately what we wanted. I was proud of the way our guys competed and battled. And, every guy that we took out to Vegas won matches. We had 3 placers. And, we really saw the competition and the level that we're going to see at the NCAA tournament. And that was the whole purpose of scheduling that tournament. So overall, I felt good about what we gained from the tournament. Obviously, we're not where we want to be. We've still got a lot of things to improve on and to work through, and some weaknesses that we have to address. But I'm just glad we're finding out in December as opposed to late in the season.
I guess maybe without getting into individual, people like they need to work on this and that. Does that affect your coaching of, hey, we'll drill more on this either as a group or with specific individual workouts of how you kind of approach, moving forward?
So a little bit of both. I think there's some commonalities, amongst our team that I can see are that were exposed this past weekend that are common for a lot of our guys. So we'll address those in a lot of our team workouts. But moving forward here, this is the time of year where we start doing a lot of individual work. So at least one day a week we'll have nothing but individuals where the guys will come in and work with a coach and a partner. And then we can address those specific deficiencies or areas that we need to work on. So we'll do a little bit of team stuff, but we'll also do a lot of individual work with each of those guys and address those things. And like I said, the good thing is we've got 3 months now to kind of figure some of that stuff out.
And that was Vegas was Friday and Saturday, and then you had guys compete at the Patriot Open hosted by George Mason. If you could just run down what you thought of how those guys performed.
Yeah, I thought that was a great performance for the 11 guys that competed at the Patriot Open. Originally that wasn't on our schedule, and it was kind of a last-minute decision for Coach Patterson to stay behind for Vegas, and it gave him the opportunity to train those guys through the end of last week, and then take some of those guys to the Patriot Open. But specifically, and there was a couple of weight classes where we're still young and we still need mat time and experience, and I kind of felt like that might be a better option for them than taking them to Las Vegas. And I think it was the right decision. Seeing it now, we had of those 11 guys, we had 6 placers, we had 3 finalists and a champ. And specifically, at 84-97 heavyweight, we had a really good weekend at the Patriot Open. So, those are 3 weight classes that we're bringing along, we're developing, and are going to be really important to us here at the end of the year. So, very successful event there at George Mason, and I was really proud of the guys and the way they competed there as well.
You mentioned 84-97. Luke's a young guy. Carson Floyd is a young guy. What has it been like for them to kind of adjust to the level of Division I wrestling?
Well, it's a big jump. You can go from being a top-notch high school wrestler, and as soon as you get to Division I, it's a little different. It's a different animal, and so. I think for them, it's just learning that level and adjusting to that has been important. But I think for Luke, he got 3 good wins. Had a good match in the finals of that tournament, so that'll help build his confidence and just get him mat time. That's one thing that you can't do without his reps, and he needs reps. And so he got some good matches there. At 97, Carson Floyd continues to impress. He won his second Open at 197, so I think he's going to be a real strong force for us at the end of this season and the years to come. So, I think those upper weights are obviously something that we're focusing on, the development, and I'm really happy with the development of those weights and the depth we're starting to accumulate there.
You kind of hit exam time, and then North Carolina's next up on the schedule, December 15th in Chapel Hill. How do you kind of navigate, I guess, first just this time of year where there's a lot going on for the student athletes?
Yeah, we addressed it yesterday. I mean, we actually had a pool workout yesterday instead of being on the mats, just to kind of give our guys a day to let their bodies recover, but still get something in. And then we really talked yesterday. It's going to be really important for this next week for our guys to manage their schedules well, to take care of their bodies, because it's really easy to get your body run down when you're training and you're also stressing about finals and maybe staying up late, studying or completing assignments. So, we really kind of the point of emphasis yesterday when I talked to the team was about managing our schedule and taking care of our bodies. And, it's going to be really important because that Carolina match is a great opportunity for us. It's a big match, in-state rival, a match that we really want to win. And it'll come right after exams. So it's going to be really important that our guys are taking care of their bodies this week, make sure we're getting our training in, but also just kind of making sure that we're not getting run down. And then obviously, they're here to be students. And so, it's really important that our guys are finishing strong in their classes. We have a motto here at App that we always want to start fast and finish strong. And so, it's no different. We talk about that on the wrestling mat a lot, but it's no different in the classroom. We want our guys to finish well in their classes, make sure that they're putting all their energy they can into, finishing their finals strong and, kind of being a complete student athlete, which is what we talk about in our program.
I know you worry more about your team than maybe the opponents, but can you give a little scouting report of the North Carolina matches have been close? I think it was maybe even a split last year, a chance to win, and just what to expect heading into next week.
Yeah, I haven't looked at their lineup specifically because, that's just not something I tend to do. But I know they're going to be tough. I do know that they're ranked, and I know they've got a lot of returners. I think they've got a couple of returning All-Americans coming back, and so the other thing I can tell you is I know they're going to be ready to wrestle us. They're not going to overlook us because they know what a battle it's going to be every time that we face them. So I don't think we're going to surprise them. So I think if we're going to get a win down there, we're going to have to earn it, and to earn it, we're going to have to wrestle well and compete hard at all 10 weight classes. We won't be able to go down there and maybe wrestle hard in 7 or 8 weight classes and get the job done. It's going to take a total team effort. All 10 weights are going to be important.
That's just the last thing for me. Certainly on these trips like Vegas and Fairfax, the focus is on wrestling. There's not much free time, but saw the guys got to visit some Washington monuments, Lincoln memorials, and then just being in Las Vegas. I'm sure that was the first time for some of those guys. What's it like for these guys to get to, in addition to the wrestling and the prep, get to see maybe parts of the world or parts of the country they haven't even seen before and see some history?
Well, I think it's important because, obviously they're going to remember the wins and losses and competing for championships and things like that when they're done and when their career's over. But those are a lot of the relationships and the times and the experiences that you remember, as a student athlete, being with your buddies and, obviously going to wrestle in a tournament, but maybe visiting the Las Vegas Strip for the first time. And, you always have that memory of doing that with your buddies and your coaches. And, the same thing for some of those guys. It was probably the first time they'd seen any of the monuments and the Capitol buildings and stuff like that in Washington, D.C. So it just, I think it's part of the overall student-athlete experience is not only competing for championships and training together and all that kind of stuff, but also having those life experiences that you start building memories and building, lifelong friendships on.